Hey everyone, welcome to Devin's Dog Days. Today I'm going to be doing a quick video on how to care for your equipment in between grooms, in between days, what products I like to use, and going over what they do and how they can really elongate the life of your equipment and overall health of your equipment. So here we go. To get started, here are the Artero products that I like to use, and then here are some of the other items that I also like to use regularly with what I am cleaning. So my daily routine, I always love to use my Artero Oil Fresh. This is a coolant, lubricant, and disinfectant. It will not erode away at the material of your equipment, so you can actually use this on the hinges of your scissors. So a lot of times, every day when I am working on dogs or whatnot, I literally, in between appointments, or if I start to feel that my shears are kind of folding hair, we tend to think that that comes from blades dulling or that our shears are going dull or whatnot. But a lot of times when too much hair ends up built up in between this wedge, it'll start to push your blades apart and make enough space where hair folds in between that. So a really good way to get rid of that and to also oil your shears is to just line the nozzle up right in that wedge and spray. And that's it. And then I just grab my microfiber towel, wipe away any excess, give it a little bit of and you're good to go. What that also helps with is it's going to help you refrain from getting your shears sharpened more often than you need to, which is going to wear away at the blade, which will then make you have to replace your shears sooner than you really have to. So it's going to really help elongate the life of your shears. Now for my clippers, I've got my Artero Spectra here. This is probably the clipper that I use the most for just about everything. And it's exactly the same. When I want to clean in between grooms, when I'm going from one dog to another and I want to make sure that I keep things sanitary, Oil Fresh is my go-to. I just align it right at the edges, right in that little hole that you can see in between the cutting blades. I like to keep it running and spray one side from each side. And because of the really nice compressed air element to this, it's going to help push out any hair that's built up in there. And you just wipe away the excess and you're ready for your next client. You don't have to worry about germs or anything like that spreading between clients. It's going to help disinfect that. It's going to oil them so there's no hair buildup and you're good to go for your next appointment. So when I'm using my Artero blade care, I like to get myself a container and fill it up to at least about a ½ inch. I want to be able to submerge my blades as I'm running them, but not submerge the body of the clipper. You never want to submerge any part of the clipper into the blade care. No matter what kind you're using, it's not good for the electronics and you don't need to oil the entire body of your clipper. So we are just going to be submerging the blade. I also use this for my A5 style clippers. This is the Artero Hit. This is our cordless battery pack clipper that each battery pack lasts 5 hours. I've got my wide blades on here. This is the number 5, and I'm going to be giving that a clean today. And so when I'm doing this, when I have multiple blades that I need to be cleaning, I also like to have a towel so that I can set that out next to me. So as I go through my blades, I have somewhere to set them down where excess of the blade care can just kind of like drip off or, get absorbed into and not make a mess of everything. And I also keep my microfiber towel with me so that way afterwards I can clean them off and get rid of any residue. So I'm going to give us a close-up view as I go ahead and work my way through my blades. So using Artero blade care to clean your clippers and equipment is really easy enough. All you have to do is while running your blade, turn it on, and submerge just enough so that the back blade and the cutting blade are running on each side. And as that's going, what that does is it's going to help work the hair out from each side. And you can see there's a little bit coming out. I have been pretty religious in cleaning my equipment, so there's not too much, but there we go. Now as the oil is working its way through those blades, it's getting some more of that hair out. And you just have to run it as long as you want. Generally, I would say I probably run mine in here for at least 30 seconds. If hair keeps coming out, I'll keep it running until it's clean. All depends on how much work you're doing with your clippers and how much buildup kind of gets in between those teeth. But again, same concept. Doing this helps remove that hair that's causing friction in between the blades and causing them to wear down faster. So you're going to get a longer last in between each sharpening, or if you're like me and you generally just replace your 4-in-1 blades, each one of those is going to have a much longer lifespan before you have to switch it out, which is a huge savings of money because we know that blades of any kind are not cheap. And so now that I've got that, I'm just going to let this run and let that kind of spill out. Give it a little shake just to make sure. Now that you're done, you can go ahead and just set this aside on your towel and let it drain. I like to set it on its side so anything works its way out. And then once I am ready to put everything away, I just come in with my microfiber towel, give it a nice little wipe, and put it right back onto its charging dock. And now onto my A5 style clipper. So exactly same concept. I'm going to go ahead and dip this so that the blade and the cutting blade are both submerged underneath of the blade care. Ooh, and you can see a lot of hair coming out on both sides of those. It's crazy how much hair can really still be stuck in there that you don't even see. Now at some point the hair will start to kind of like wrap its way back around into your blade, and then it can be a little confusing on what's new and what's old. So that's why I say my general rule of thumb is like 30 to 60 seconds, so at least I know that it's got a really good clean and is also really well lubricated. All right, and so now that I'm done, just gonna let that run off. And then I'll pull over my towel. And again, you can go ahead and use my microfiber towel to get it off because I don't like getting this stuff all over my hands. You can also use gloves while you're doing this. Safekeeping, you might as well. But as you can see, my blades are really nice and clean. They look shiny and new and well oiled. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them away until I'm ready to use them for my next appointment. And last but not least, 2 other things from Artero that really help keep your equipment healthy and living long. I've got the Artero Oil Pen, which is really awesome. It comes with a brush attached to it so you can easily apply it. And you can either just use the brush without oil on it just to get hair out. But when you want to, you just click and turn the base and you'll see the tip of the brush fill up with oil. And so this is just another way to be able to lubricate your equipment and really make sure that it is staying well oiled. It's not being left to the elements to rust. And you can easily just apply the oil right over the tops, turning your blades on. And so you just have to turn this clockwise until oil drips into the tips of the brush, and then you can go ahead and apply it everywhere you need to. Along the sides, along the teeth. You can go right along this way is great because you can really get that oil right in between there. And I like to run my equipment just to make sure that it spreads evenly and it's good to go and well coated. And the last Artero tool that I'm going to be talking about is one that I think is really cool. And it's something that when you're working in areas that are more humid and your equipment is exposed to things like rust, this is the Artero scissor and blade case. And so what this does is you can actually submerge your equipment in Artero blade care overnight, over the weekend. And what that does is it keeps it completely oiled up, keeps it completely lubricated, and it keeps it completely protected from the elements. So if you work in an area that has higher humidity and your equipment is more likely to rust because of being exposed to that, you can actually fill this up so that the base of it is full of blade care. And then whenever you lift it, the tray comes right up and brings it out. So you can literally open this up Monday morning after you are done with your weekend and you've come back and you're getting ready to groom. Pop this open while you're getting everything else ready, while you're checking in your clients, and it's going to drain right into the bottom of that basin. And then at the end of the day, if you want to put them back in again, you load it up, and as soon as you close it, it'll submerge right into the bottom of that. And this is something that I'm from Florida. I work in Tennessee, and there is humidity everywhere. And this is something that has saved my equipment a lot. I definitely ran into some issues with rust, especially working in Florida. No matter where you are, no matter if you're indoors or outdoors, there's humidity everywhere. And I always put my most important equipment in here to make sure that it was protected. And now I have 2 of them. So I'm really excited to be able to protect more of my favorite equipment using these Artero products and tools. So that is how I like to help keep my equipment clean and how I like to keep it running very long. This Spectra blade, I'm usually grooming at least 3 to 4 days a week. And even with my own dogs and everything, I have had this same blade for 6 months. it will keep your equipment going long. You just have to make sure that you take care of it. And when you take care of it and you invest that time, it's going to save you money in the long run and frustration, because nobody likes burning through all of their equipment like that. So I hope you found this video helpful. And if you do, and you enjoy watching videos about dogs and dog grooming, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We are working really hard to keep building towards something super fun and amazing here. And I am just so excited to have you all a part of it. So thank you so much for following. I'll be back with more videos later. Bye.